Liverpool get themselves back to winning ways. Arne Slot reverts to type, a huge 3 points for the champions as they beat Liverpool 2-0 at Anfield on Saturday. It was far from the perfect performance, but it was a clean sheet and it gave the Liverpool faithful something to cheer about. Do I think they're back in the title race? Absolutely not. And there are questions, especially around the summer transfers, that I am going to touch on over the next 10 minutes or so. Before I do though, guys, can I ask a huge favour? Can you drop a like on this video if you haven't done so already? Make sure you're subscribing to the Footy Social Club. Previews of games, predicted lineups, predictions for each game week, not just the Premier League, the Champions League as well. And of course, reaction to some of the biggest games in the Premier League. Let's get straight into it. Let's look at the lineups because this is where it starts. It's really interesting this from a Slot perspective. Midfield in goal. Remember, Alisson still out injured, not too far away from a return. Bradley at right back, Konate, Van Dijk and Robertson. And that's the big one. Andy Robertson back in at left back. I have been saying it for 3 or 4 weeks now. Drop Milos Kerkez. I know he scored last weekend as well. However, a player bang out of form, a player struggling to adapt to life at the very top of the Premier League with Liverpool, a team that play a different style to that of Bournemouth as well. And bringing Robertson back in for me just makes complete sense. A player, you know, an international with his country, Scotland, heaps of caps. He's won the Premier League. He's won the Champions League. He just gets it. He understands it. He's solid. Can he play every game, every week? No. But can he play in the big games? Absolutely he can. Absolutely. Liverpool looked far better at the back. They went on to keep a clean sheet against Villa. Yes, Villa hit the bar twice as well in the first half, but they looked better with Robertson, Van Dijk, Konate and Bradley. As a 4, it just worked. With what we've seen so far with Kerkez and Frimpong or Szoboszlai, who's been Liverpool's best player of the season so far, Liverpool have been exposed in those wing-back positions. This looks better. Sure, get Robertson 60, 70 minutes into the game. Then you can bring Kerkez in if that's what you want to do. But start with this formation Slot. Start with it. It definitely works. Midfield 2, McAllister, Gravenberch back from injury. Liverpool have missed him. He got himself on the score sheet. We'll talk about that as well. Gakpo on the left. I'm not sure why Liverpool fans don't like Cody Gakpo. I think he's ever so consistent for the club. Not a Luis Diaz, of course, but still very good. Dominic Szoboszlai in the 10. Mo Salah on the right. And of course, Hugo Ekitike up top. Now, obviously, Isak's out injured, so the decision to play Ekitike has been easy for Arne Slot at the moment. But when you look at that team, it looks far more balanced. There's no Florian Vertz in there. There's no Frimpong on the right. It just looks more consistent, more better. Something very similar to what Liverpool had last season when they won the league. These players, they understand the system. They understand what's required of them. But the big question mark, have Liverpool bought the wrong players this summer? Because when you've spent £450 million on players and the only one starting is Hugo Ekitike, then there are questions that need to be answered around what the club are identifying going forward. I have no doubt that some of these players are going to adapt, but I have question marks now around Liverpool's transfer targets in the summer. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Liverpool have bought well and it's just a case of them adapting to the UK or to playing in England, to their new teammates, 4 or 5 changes? Is that too much? But right now, if I'm Arne Slot, with big games on the horizon, there is Real Madrid, there is Manchester City as well next weekend, then surely you've got to look at playing that team at the moment, week in, week out, and then maybe interchange for 1 or 2. One I would certainly leave out in the short to medium term is Florian Vertz. Play him in the Champions League, bring him in off the bench, 60, 70 minutes gone, give him 20 odd minutes or so to stamp his mark, and he's been unlucky at times. But for me right now, you've got to play Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai. That is Liverpool's best three. Mo Salah playing in a more familiar position as well. Time's up as well for Salah, but Liverpool still need him this year as they try and mount some form of a charge towards the Premier League. Whether they can do that, I'm not so sure. I'm really not sure that Liverpool can do that. Let me know your thoughts. Let's look at a couple of the key players. Let's look at this man first as well. Mo Salah. We'll go to Mo Salah first. Scored his 250th goal for Liverpool behind Ian Rush. 3 shots, 1 goal. Gifted to him from Emi Martinez, a sloppy pass out from Martinez towards Pau Torres, straight to Mo Salah. Mo Salah doesn't miss, puts obviously Liverpool 1-0 up on the stroke of half time. 1 key pass. Look, it's not vintage Salah in any way, shape or form, and that's why I say Salah's time is almost done with Liverpool. It is not the same Mo Salah, and a player that has been as good as Mo Salah has been cannot go out on a whimper. Liverpool will look to offload, I believe, the huge wages that Salah, costs the club. And I'm sure a move to the Saudi league is where Salah goes in the summer. But him scoring is going to help Liverpool, especially if he can score goals in the next 2 games as well. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not Slot maybe offers Chiesa more of a role in this team. I think he's done really well when he comes in off the bench. And as such, will we see maybe Mo Salah dropped to the subs bench a little more? I also want to talk about this man who returned from injury as well. A 7.9. He was Liverpool's best player on the day as well. And that's Ryan Gravenberch. Scored himself a goal in the second half, took a deflection off of Pau Torres, gave Martinez no chance, 20 yards out. But that's what Gravenberch does. Top player, top midfielder. Absolute baller, in my opinion. 7.9 out of 10 as well. Couple of shots, crosses, 46 accurate passes. And look, if we dive a little deeper into what Ryan Gravenberch is, let's have a look. Heat map's important, isn't it? Played the full 90 minutes as well. Absolutely everywhere. From a Liverpool perspective, absolutely everywhere. Sitting, holding, in the attack as well. He's got the engine that drives this Liverpool team forward. And to be honest, Aston Villa didn't really know how to handle Ryan Gravenberch. Onana gave it his best shot, wasn't able to do it in my opinion. As I said, got himself a shot, no assists or anything like that. 1 big chance created, couple of key passes, good accuracy on those passes as well. 88% chance, 89% chance across the board. That is very, very good from the Liverpool midfielder. Had himself a couple of shots as well. Blocking shots, playing his role as well in screening that back line. And my God, does the likes of Konate and Van Dijk need it as well. If Liverpool are going to compete, if Liverpool are going to go far and deep in competitions, then keeping Ryan Gravenberch fit is absolutely vital for me. If we look at Mo Salah as well, heat map heavily on that right-hand side. That's where Mo Salah wants to be. He has some nice link-up play with Ekitike as well, and Szoboszlai. I think Szoboszlai last season was critical to how Mo Salah plays. But that's more of what we're used to from a Mo Salah perspective when you look at the heat map. Nowhere near vintage Mo Salah, as I said. Still low XG. These XGs would have been far higher last year, but he got himself the goal. Can he build off of that as well at the moment? Passes in his opposition box quite low. In the opposition half quite low, 69% only. Couple of long balls tried as well. More teams going more direct. Dribbles, 8 of those, only 5 successful. 62 touches. I probably expect a little bit more from Salah as well. And again, 24 times he gave it away. This is not prime Salah anymore. And this is for me why Salah will be leaving Liverpool at the end of the season. Would you Would you keep Mo Salah? Are there Liverpool fans there that would keep Mo Salah? Are there Liverpool fans that still don't trust Arne Slot as well? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Are you happy to see this team back to what it was, last season, or as close to it as possible? I really would like to know from Liverpool fans, do you believe you can still mount a serious title challenge? A couple of other things I want to pick up on the stats perspective as well. 54% chance to Liverpool from possession, 46 to Aston Villa, who I thought were poor on the day. Yes, they hit the bar twice in the first half, but they were sloppy with the goals they conceded. They never really hurt Liverpool. 16 shots from Liverpool at home, only 4 on target. And that has been a little bit of the story so far when it comes to Liverpool's season. Not enough on target, not enough peppering the opposition goal as well. Only 1 corner created as well at home. I think those stats are too low. Yes, people want to see more open play football, more of that Pep style. No one wants to see the long ball, but right now that is the trend and that is what's working. And Liverpool have got to find more ways to make use of set plays and dead ball situations, long throws. They've struggled to defend them, but they've got to create more from corners as well. Passing accuracy up in the high 80s, tackles and fouls 13 apiece. To be honest, I was surprised with how Villa played. Slot's been very open and honest, criticised by the likes of Jamie Redknapp for the fact that Slot and Liverpool can't play against the low block. Yet Villa didn't try and do that. Didn't try and frustrate Liverpool. They were open. They allowed Liverpool to play. And that, for me, is why Liverpool won the game. What are they going to do against Real Madrid in midweek? I believe that fixture is at Anfield as well. Then the cookie cutter away to Manchester City next Sunday. That is a huge game. Huge game. They've gone to third, but they're still 7 points behind Arsenal as it stands at the moment. Arsenal face Sunderland next weekend. They've had their tricky run. For me, this is Liverpool's best performance of the season. A clean sheet, 2-0. They played well for patches, but 455 million. The pressure's on Slot to find a way to get these players into the team. That's almost $1 million question. How does Arne Slot get the likes of Vertz into this team? Isak and Ekatike. How does it work? Because that on screen there is the best Liverpool team, and it cannot be the best team when you've spent 450 odd million pounds. Guys, do me a huge favour if you haven't done so already. Drop a like on this video. Not just Liverpool, Arsenal, and of course Manchester City out over this weekend. Make sure you're subscribing to the Footy Social Club. The phone lines are open for our live show Monday 10:30 UK time on YouTube, giving you the fans the chance to voice your opinion on your team from the weekend. Make sure you join Gaz and myself for that one. Prediction show out Monday as well. Champions League predictions, the big ones, as I said, Liverpool versus Real Madrid, amongst others. Make sure you're subscribing as well. It really does help the algorithm and help the channel grow. Thanks for watching, guys. Look forward to seeing you on the next one.